Hey, Mom.
All right, great. I just wanted to let you know that I've been listening since the beginning. It's really awesome. And I didn't know if your other guests were ready, so I just want to let you know I'm here.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, there was a break and I thought, I did purposely leave breaks for me today to go to the bathroom or to have a meal. Although I do have dinner's already ordered and will be delivered when this is all over. So I took care of that 2 days, like yesterday. I'm like, I'm going to order this now. So it's delivered. And then I have one of my sponsors was Good Fats. And so I'll have probably, and I intermittent fast anyway during the morning. So I may have do a little sponsor thing and show you my good fats that I can do. But yeah, thank you for jumping on early. I appreciate it. Your episode is number, okay, which one is it?
I think it's 6.
You are right. Word of mouth marketing and hiring. Definitely. I have 2 sheets here. Word of mouth marketing and hiring. So Bob's episode is episode 6. And again, for the Health and Wealth podcast, it is a free show. Please rate and review. If nothing else, I'd love you to subscribe. There's only 20 episodes up right now. It'll be 23 by next week or the week after. And then I'm going to pause for a second and let you tell me how you're enjoying it and what you want from it. Because I have so many other shows and very committed environments where people, always tell me what they want. I have a membership that's its own podcast. So in order to continue providing in the health and wealth, I want to make sure the momentum has been created. So I invite you all to listen to Bob's episode as well as all of them. So Bob, what I'm asking people today, as you are aware, since you've been here from the beginning, is anything since our conversation. You gave a lot of great tips. You told us about how your business started. You came out of retirement to start your business and how successful it's been and how you have literally leveraged being great at delivering results for customers that's how you've grown and hired. And, but also a little bit about your own health journey since then. Is there something that you're noticing in your business, in your practice, in your own health and wealth balance that would be valuable for us that's new?
So since the new year started, I decided to start over again and reread the book Oneness. I had read Oneness and also Journey to Oneness by Rasha. They're both like 500-page books, and it took me probably 5 years to read them because you can only read a little bit at a time, and it's like a whole life lesson on every page. And so I had finished those and I was just reading my favorite parts. And then I said, now I'm going to go back and reread, starting with the first book right from the very beginning. I'm going to read every page. And so I'm about 50 pages into the first 500 pages. And what I'm doing is I'm in the morning, my new morning routine, since I have some new stuff, is I read in the Oneness book to begin with. And then I turn on a big screen TV in a place where I can meditate with crystals and all like that. I turn on the Kaleidoscope video that Dr. Joe Dispenza has. It's amazing. And then in sequence, I will listen to a guided imagery and meditate to one of the guided imageries that Dr. Joe puts out. And those are really amazing. My favorite ones is the blessing of the energy centers. And then following that, I watch my new mind movie that I made for the new year. And so you get into a highly receptive state, sometimes even in gamma, not every day, but days it goes into gamma. Then the mind movie that you're watching, which is a law of attraction style mind movie, becomes very deeply embedded commands from your affirmations and your pictures. And so I've started doing that as my new year routine, and it's been really, really helpful. It's helped me to be able to have a much deeper understanding of the people that I'm around, people at work, my friends, my girlfriend, and in addition, a much deeper understanding of myself, including what you've been talking about with Imago and Helen Hunt. I keep having these episodes where I can see myself as a much younger person, and I can see the emotional reaction to certain traumas, and I can now almost instantly heal whatever comes up because of that understanding. And I've been able to teach other people. Just last night I was teaching someone else how to do it. And so that's been a very welcome new routine that I've added to my other morning routine, which is bioenergetic exercises, my nutrition products, and the like. And so I feel a lot different. I feel like I'm a lot different person than the last time that we talked as a result of all of this.
In what way, like, what do you think did you heal something new? What was the change? Like, what's the change that makes you different?
I feel as if I am much less reactive. So I feel like any relationship or encounter with people, that I have control over it. And I feel very strong compassion for the people I come into contact with. And there's less energy that is, okay, we have all these things we have to do, so let's get right to it and get focused on it, and let's not get distracted from this stuff, because this is the most important thing. And so now it feels like the most important thing is the positive energy, the compassion, the understanding, and the detachment to the outcome. The attachment to an outcome of, hey, we got to get this done because of this, and this. I'm able to actually release my attachment to the outcome in regard to things that some people would say, well, wow, that's really, really important, that business issue there, that you really should be attached to the outcome and drive toward it with all your focus. It's like, nope, I've already done that. I've given it my focus in the field. And the person that I brought to the field when I was notifying the field of my desire and intention, the person that I brought was energetically aligned enough that I feel confident that what I want to accomplish is going to be accomplished, and I don't have any attachment to the outcome. It's like, if it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, that means there's something better that we can morph into. And that's been very welcome, because I can be very, very digital and very driven and very task list oriented. And I feel much more relaxed and much more able to actually accomplish the goals with this strategy. So I've been practicing it for a few weeks, and it has a very rapid manifestation with these practices. They don't take, you don't have to meditate in a cave for 20 years with the monks. You start doing this, and it's highly effective when you combine your mind movies with meditation, with reading in oneness, which is just profoundly beautiful languaging in this book. It's inspiring. Just, it's the kind of book where you read it and you have to stop to put the book down, because you are in such awe and wonder of the writings and how beautiful the writings are. You literally have to set the book down just to pause in awe.
I'm going to check it out. I haven't heard of it. And that sounds like a great challenge. But you answered the question I was going to ask you, which was in terms of manifestation, right? And that how have you noticed what you're attracting to you in business or in life has accelerated because of these new practices? So you answered that already, right?
Yeah, it's really good. I've always used the law of attraction, and I used to teach the law of attraction, but there are so many levels to it and so many more layers that are available, that it's always really nice when you make a leap to a new plateau, and it gives you this ability to recreate yourself anew. And I was listening to the previous guest talking about going to the beach. So I live right at the beach. My condo looks right out over the Gulf of Mexico. And it's really beautiful there. The St. Pete Clearwater beaches are just magnificent. And so there's a walking meditation that you can download onto your app. And I like going to the beach and listening to the walking meditation while I'm doing that. And it's also, of course, very, very grounding. And it's not something I can do every morning. Um, just because if I was to do that, there'd be so many other morning routine things that I wouldn't be able to do. So it's mostly a weekend thing.
So one of the things I'd ask everyone to do, and you were very kind and gracious to do it, was to offer a free gift to people listening today. And for this launch, something you normally charge for. So can you tell us a little bit about that gift that you're giving today on healthandwealthgifts.com?
Yeah, it's a couple of different things. And so we actually created some information about keto diets that we felt was going to be very valuable in the introduction, but we did something that we believe is unique because we teach a lot about cooking techniques and how not to create glycotoxins with your cooking technique. And so we went through our keto recipes and examine them very carefully to make sure that the method of preparing the food was such that you wouldn't ever create any glycotoxins in the preparation. Because a lot of people will think that they're following a keto diet, or if they're following a paleo diet, which could be keto or it might not be keto, but if they don't understand the proper cooking techniques, they could be doing more harm than good to their body, regardless of what diet you follow. If you're overcooking your food over 300 degrees on dry heat, then you actually are participating in one of the two leading causes of cancer, which is overcooking food, particularly meat, that is cooked on dry heat. It creates highly, highly carcinogenic glycotoxins. And along with, leaving your shoes inside the house that are off-gassing pesticides and tire dust and all that all night long, those two things combined are the leading causes of cancer, at least according to the CDC. And so these keto recipes all have recommended techniques for preparing your food that won't create glycotoxins. And then the next thing is that I am also giving free consultations to people that would like to call and speak to me directly. So I have 6 holistic health therapists that work for me here at my office, and we're all in the same building, and we answer calls all day, every day, from mostly around the United States, but some other countries. And I don't do a lot of those phone calls because I'm running the business and attending meetings. Next week is my 5-day mastermind. But what I've decided to do for your listeners is I will do personal holistic health consultations for people that would like to call in and speak to me. And like your consultations, JJ, where you were talking about, cherry picking different techniques based on the person you're talking to. So I do the same thing. So I'm really good at teaching the emotional freedom technique, as is, Dawson Church. And I'm also really good with bioenergetic therapy. I studied bioenergetic therapy for 2.5 years, probably more time than just about anybody in the world, and numerous other therapies that I've studied: heart-centered therapy, NLP, hypnosis, um, nonviolent communication, and also the Heart Math Institute. So I know how to set people up with inner balance. I know how to teach the revision scissors by Neville Goddard, and I know how to merge them all together with other medical, intuitive, and spiritual techniques, the healing codes and things like that. And so pretty much anybody that would call to talk to me, I can either refer them to a place, which we do daily. We refer people to therapists in their zip code. So we have ways to find people that can help them right there when they need to actually go to see somebody. And we do have people that travel to St. Petersburg also to see us. But the base of referral people that we have is such that almost anything that people could call about, we can either help them directly, or we can that minute hook them up with somebody right in their town that can help them with whatever problem it is that they're having.
So that is something he doesn't offer very often. If you want to get your gifts and your consultation, healthandwealthgifts.com is where to go to get everyone's free gifts that they're giving, that I've asked them to specifically give something they don't offer for free to celebrate this health and wealth launch, and to get everybody on board this 2020 sort of re-examining and clarity and focus about, right, 2020 focus of, how do I change my life? How do I make it better? How do I live out my dreams and desires in a way that's meaningful and profitable to me, both for my health and for my bottom line? So I appreciate those gifts. We in the word of mouth marketing and hiring, episode 6 with Bob, we do talk about both his health journey, but more so also his business. And so the Health and Wealth podcast it jumps between sort of two audiences. Everyone can benefit from it, but the one audience is anyone who's lost their health on the road to wealth and lessons learned from that. And the other are tips and tools and strategies that work in creating a health business. And so why don't you just talk a little bit about Boomers and your business and what it is and what you do?
Yes, so Boomers Forever Young it's primarily a holistic nutrition company, and it was started 9 years ago, and it's we have access to some of the leading scientists in the world that are very cutting edge, esoteric types of people that create products, and we're either their sole distributor or their main distributor. So, for example, you see a lot of information about how inflammation is the cause of 95% of diseases. Well, there are many things that cause inflammation, including your thought process, right? But also exposure to toxins, high blood sugar, etc. And inflammation is caused to a large degree by excessive superoxide in your body. And up until recently, there was no way to take something by mouth that would mitigate superoxide and reduce your inflammation. So we work with people that are sick because they have inflammation, and we help them to reduce that inflammation by a factor of between 10 and sometimes even 50 times. So the average person's inflammation on the scorecard measured by your C-reactive protein is about a 3. People with diabetes, it's usually 5 or above. And when people take our products, their inflammation will go down below 0.5. And in some cases, it goes off of the charts. So we have one gentleman who is a diabetic who still has an A1C that's above 6 all the time, but his C-reactive protein is not findable. It's below 0.1. So essentially, he has no inflammation in his body at all, and all of his symptoms of being a diabetic went away. And we see that all the time. People can have high blood sugar and have a high A1C, but if they can get their inflammation low, they don't even really technically have diabetes. They don't have any negative effects of the diabetes. Their cholesterol is well within range, and their peripheral neuropathy goes away, gastroparesis, their eyesight improves. When you reduce your inflammation, lots of good things happen. And then also in the product that has the superoxide dismutase in it, which is negating the superoxide damage, there are also the compounds that rebuild your body very fast. So there's pre-digested protein that's in the form of amino acids, along with about 4,000 metabolic enzymes. And so essentially what people want to try to do if they're into being very healthy and de-aging is you want to be able to rebuild your body faster than you're burning it up. So humans are like a log burning in the fire, and over time it's gone and there's a waste product, ashes, right? And humans are very much like that. It takes 100 years, but your body will oxidize itself out of existence, but you're constantly rebuilding yourself. So that's the only reason, you know, why it's 100 years. If you weren't rebuilding yourself, it would be 1 year. So what we try to help people do is change the ratio. So instead of burning yourself faster than you're rebuilding, we make it so you're rebuilding faster than you're burning. And our nutrition products facilitate that actualization.
That's great and amazing. And I want to learn more. And we have someone who's actually raised their hand. They want to talk. They want to ask a question. I don't know if it's to you or to me. So I want to see, and I don't know who your name, cause it doesn't come over, but now that you're on and unmute, let's see, unmute. So, person who raised your hand, I'm sorry, I have to call you person, SCH 1545. You are on with us, but you're on mute. You raised your hand. I just want to make sure you have to unmute yourself, I think, because I can't do it. Maybe you didn't mean to. 31. You said 31. What does that mean? Okay. You're on if you want to ask a question. Antonia, I'm going to put you on. Did you have a question?
We were just trying to make sure we didn't have our hand raised.
Oh, well, you raised your hand.
Yeah.
You raised your hand. Okay.
It was after, though.
But that was after whoever was checking.
Okay.
It.
All
Not
right.
us.
I'll bring you guys back on in 10 minutes. How's that?
Alrighty.
Great.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So disable talking. And was this a real question from SCH 1545? Are you somebody, did you mean to raise your hand? If you did, I'll bring you back on. You can write in the chat. How do I get you out of here? Okay. Well, let's see. How do I unmute, disable talking, remove? I don't want to remove. No, I don't want you to be removed from the webinar. How do I get you out of here? Chat, promote to panelists, remove. You're already here. Okay, well, I guess we'll just continue without it. Okay, so we're on, you have these products that can help us rebuild our body faster than it's breaking down. And about all the different scientists that you work with and all the different therapies that you're doing. And, you know, one of the great things about Bob's interview was on a business side about building a business. And I think that anyone who's out there building a business can learn from the delivery of his business. Okay, we have another hand up. It's Cindy. Okay, Cindy, you're on. Let me unmute you. Okay. Cindy, you're going to have to unmute yourself because it's not working on my end to do that. Lower hand. Isn't technology fun?
Yeah.
I spent like 30 minutes trying to get tech up and it still didn't even work right, but that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, Cindy, you're on. If you want to ask a question, you raised your hand. Maybe you didn't mean to. And I can't seem to unmute you. So if you want to ask a question, come on in a minute, but back to Bob. So besides, like you mentioned, sort of like me, you have lots of different tools that you use, and that I'm sure people that what I didn't know, we didn't really talk about on the show, although I do know that you work with people, Boomers Forever Young is mostly a nutritional line first. Like how do you promote the service part of that?
We promote the service part when we're on podcasts, which is quite frequently, 2 or 3 times a week. And we also, and we have free videos on the website. So what we like to be able to do is let people learn to do the emotional freedom technique. So we have 2 videos on it. One is, what is it? What is the emotional freedom technique and how does it work? And then the second one is how to do it. And so and we just teach tapping on the fingertips for simplicity's sake. And then we have a specific phrase framework that involves using NLP and also involves bioenergetic therapy. So it's a twist on tapping that adds other therapies into it. And it's very easy to learn. And then you can use the phrase that we give people and then plug your own words in based on the issue you're working on and the affirmation that you want. But then the rest of the phrase around it is semantically packed so that it sets you up, sets your unconscious mind up for making your brand new affirmation an embedded command. And it's also associated with the feeling of love and compassion because it involves a part of it. It elevates your oxytocin. So you end up associating your new affirmation with the feeling of love and compassion. And so it makes it much more likely you'll continue to go towards it. And so that's something people can learn for free on our site. They can also learn the ultimate mind calming exercise, which is a bioenergetic exercise, which also raises your oxytocin level. And in some cases, if you keep practicing it, it will raise your level up to the point where it will actually open up your RAS and will allow you to begin to enter into the gamma state. And so those are free videos on the site, and they're videos that took many, many years of study and a long time to create. And so for people that want do it yourself, that's really valuable. And there's also a video on there on manual lymphatic drainage that shows people in about 20 minutes how to do lymph drainage for your entire body from your head all the way down to your feet. And all of those things happen to also work really well for helping people sleep. So we have an awesome sleep aid product that we sell, but in order to calm your mind and stay asleep, those techniques work really well to help people to fall asleep. And what I do, JJ, you're talking about your grounding mat. I sleep on a PEMF mat that has a module for sleep that forces you with pulsed electromagnetic fields into REM sleep. And so there's no guesswork left in it. So it's really very beneficial.
Of all of the people that you guys work with, that you've worked with, if you had to, say the top 2 issues, the biggest issues, the reoccurring issues that people either don't understand or don't address, what do you think they would be?
Well, the inflammation related to diabetes, there's so many people with diabetes that's one. The other is, half of the population is overweight now. So, and most of them don't understand all the different things that go into being overweight and the multitude of things they have to address and modify. But then, and stress, of course, is one of those things. So stress not only causes people to become overweight, but it causes many, many other problems. So our learning to do the emotional freedom technique and the ultimate mind calming exercise is a very good first step to managing your stress. But then we can also educate people in that regard about the inner balance device. We're really good at teaching people how to use it. We're really good at teaching people how to use PEMF devices. And we have staff that are all experts in various areas of their own that we can refer people to. So we have a woman that wrote a book on stem cells, who's one of our consultants. We have a woman who's an expert in pulsed electromagnetic fields, and another woman, Lucy, who has her own radio show on health and wellness, works for us, who's an expert in numerous different techniques using Reiki and other things. And we do have people that come to the office to visit that can get access to all of these things in one visit.
So again, you hear the wealth of knowledge that Bob has and has had for years in creating his own company and servicing his clients. And he is offering a free consultation, as well as, again, those protocols on keto or paleo cooking that will help you stay non-toxic no matter what diet plan you're on, which is a unique gift that created just for you guys. So go to healthandwealthgifts.com to claim those things. Any last ideas or parting words? I have Q&As here. Where do those come up? Oh, okay. Got it. Again, tech. Hey, first marathon I've ever done. So, and all this different stuff. So thanks all for your patience. Any last, words of wisdom, for the person who wants to get healthy and make more money?
Well, first off, I'd just like to say congratulations to you. I can't even imagine how much work this was to put this all together. But hearing your story earlier, I can imagine. But in regard to making money, what you were talking about earlier with masterminds, that's really huge. I'm a founding member of the Board of Advisors Mastermind, and we meet for 5 days quarterly in Sarasota. And so it's a huge commitment. There's 100 members from around the world, and we help each other with our businesses, and we invest in each other's businesses. So a mastermind is really, really critical. And I'm glad to hear that you say, JJ, that yours is very reasonably priced, because it's a good way for people to get started and see, what that's all about. And so that, in regard to business, that to me is something that's probably the number one thing. And in regard to health, you really do have to pay attention to every aspect of your health. You have to have a good diet. You have to have the right nutritional supplements. You have to have stress management. You have to exercise. And you also have to have the techniques you were discussing earlier, JJ, about having very positive and loving relationships. Because when you put all of this together, then you will have a love for life. And when you get to the point where you have this love for life, where you're actually very happy to be alive and you love being alive in human form, that changes your biochemistry and your brainwave patterns dramatically. There's nothing better than a full-blown love for life that will open up the gateway to the other worlds.
Thank you for the plug for masterminds. For people that haven't been in one before, like I've told people, I've been in one, I think every year I've been in business, because, there's the idea creation that happens amongst people, that when they share their stories, all of a sudden you see yourself in their situation and you get an idea about a new product or service or business or a new way to market it. Also within that group, I'm sure with you, like you said, you invest in each other's things. There are joint ventures created. There are new streams of income and revenue that get created because of the relationship that you have with someone or someone's business. There's someone who I believe is joining Doug and my mastermind, and she, I believe, wants to help heal the baby boomers and that population to not have such a dramatic decline because of its effect financially on the world. And there's a very specific niche. And so when she approached us, I said, well, you'd be perfect for us to joint venture. And she's like, oh, absolutely. Like, there's just some small tweaks. She's very specific about the population that she's looking at and then the methods that she's using. So that creates, again, a possible another stream of revenue that we could share in. And that's my intention for both groups. And it's also to let people know that, there's working on your business and it's working in your business. And when you're working in your business, you're not working on your business. You're not being able to take a step back. Like you said, that's a huge commitment. I'd love that. I'd be all over that. Like getting together for 5 days quarterly to work on my business. Like magic happens when you can utilize the strengths and knowledge within the room of people whose knowledge and experience is well beyond yours or different than yours, and that you learn something you would not have known otherwise. And again, between the joint ventures and ideas and the investment in each other, it creates a whole new creativity download for you of things, again, that you either didn't give yourself the permission to dream about, or to say, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. And and again, it's that working on your business, we're not working in your business. So I appreciate that. And definitely you have so much to offer. Please, everyone, go listen to Bob's episode. Again, it's episode number 6, word of mouth marketing and hiring. And he has there's more information how to contact him. And in the show notes, there's also links to all of his websites and everything he's talked about in the show. And please go grab your free gifts at healthandwealthgifts.com. Bob, thank you for jumping on early. I appreciate it.
Sure. Just last thing, JJ, as people go to the episode and make their way to our website, there's a promo code JJ with capital J's for a really good discount off of anything on our website.
Excellent. All right, write that down, promo code, and I will actually add that to my next email that I send out about everyone grabbing their gifts. Okay, so promo code JJ, and I'll actually put that in the show notes. That's what I'll do. I'll put it in the show notes.
Yep,
So
that
people can
promo
get that.
code's for the things that cost money. There's the free gifts and the free videos. The things you would have to purchase, that promo code will get you a great discount.
Awesome. Bob, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for helping to make the world healthier, happier, and wealthier.
Thank you for having me on, JJ. It was
You're
great.
welcome. Thank you so much. All right. So if